On March 25th, 26th, and 27, 2008, a life simulation health fair for teens and parents called the Life Are You Ready project was held at Energy Hall in Camplex. This event allowed teens and parents to practice decision-making skills to simulate real-life situations that teens are likely to experience. The format used was a life-size maze. Prior to arrival, teens received classroom instruction about participation in risky behaviors and practical ways to say no.
I think it helps us because we know what the consequences could be, and we know that things do really happen. Like you could get in a car wreck or end up in the hospital with liver damage, or you could die. And we probably don't think of that when we go to a party, but it really could happen.
When they arrived at Energy Hall, half of the students completed a pre-event survey that outlined students' notions and ideas before they began. The other half of the students entered the maze, and when they were finished and through the maze, completed a post-event survey. Once the students entered the maze, they chose from several pathways that lead them to graduation. There were several scripted scenarios that were played out by actors from the CCHS Drama Club, National Honor Society, GARF Peer Players, and Yes House, while fire cadets from the Campbell County Fire Department enacted a moulage scene. These scripted scenarios involved the police, the court system, probation, diversion, the emergency room, pregnancy, counseling, and even death.
Well, this time you had to make your choices on your own, and they're put right in front of you, and so, your decisions are what you want to do. And I mean, if I would just sit and read it in a book, I'd be like, oh, she got pregnant, shoot, that's not good, But once because they put a jacket thing over me and they put sand in it at like 3 months and 6 months and then like 9 months. And by the time it was 9 months, it was really heavy, so it wasn't very comfortable, and so I just felt way awkward and out of place, and it just makes you realize how much your decisions will weigh down on you.
I think sitting in a classroom just tells you what the outcomes are going to happen, and you don't really get, you only get a mental model of what's going to happen, but in this situation, you find out firsthand what it's like. You get put in the position of a real person that has gone through this.
One thing, this is hands-on, and if you read it in a book, it doesn't really grasp you as well. You don't learn it, you just think, oh well, this will never happen to me. When you go through it, it kind of sticks with you more, and you realize it can happen to you, and it happens to millions of people every day.
Before they begin, students receive a booklet that tracks their experiences throughout the event. As they enter the maze, students are split into 3 groups. The first group attends a basketball tournament. The second attends an unsupervised party, while the third group hangs out at an arcade. In all 3 of these situations, students are encouraged to participate in scripted, risky behaviors, which could include drugs, alcohol, sex, tobacco, inhalants, and many other dangerous activities. As in real life, suspicious teen behavior results in calls to the police. So some of these party scenes are randomly busted by local police officers. As teens leave the party scenes, they discover the results of their simulated choices through scripted consequences. They briefly talk with assigned volunteers about the consequences of their initial choices and review their choices with nurses, probation and diversion officers, EMTs, or professional counselors. The finale for each student is a photo taken in front of a background showing what happened to them.
Right here you can tell how serious it could get, and it shows you like it can happen actually in front of your eyes instead of just reading about it?
Well, it can show students my age what can happen if you make certain choices, and it'll hopefully help them learn what consequences you could get yourself into by making those choices, and what are good choices and what are bad choices, and hopefully that'll make the students make wiser decisions, like not to drink or take drugs or anything like that.
Here, you got to see what the cops would do to you, what would happen if you did make wrong decisions. Like, you got to talk through the different, going to a judge and probation and diversion. And in the class, you just learned about that, but you didn't know what they'd do to you. So it was just, this was more educational.
The pre-event and post-event surveys were evaluated by professional statisticians to determine the level of the event's success. The overall goals of Life Are You Ready are to increase awareness of the consequences of teens' behavior and choices, decrease the teens' motivation to participate in risky behaviors, and to provide an activity that promotes dialogue between teens and parents, as well as a situation to practice the skills that they learned in school.
It shows them that these are really bad decisions, and it shows the consequences, and that it isn't cool to do these things, and that you'll get in trouble and you'll get caught. And it's not the big picture on, like, they'll make fun of you if you don't do this. The big picture is where it's going to take you the rest of your life.